Hey there, champ. Hey there, sport. What's up? How's it going, buckaroo? How are you doing? Hello and welcome to the podcast, where today I'm going to talk about staying motivated when nobody is really engaging with the thing that you're making. Now, I make a lot of things. I make this podcast. I've been making this podcast for a couple of weeks. I also make music. I've been doing that for a couple of years. So I haven't been doing this a super long time, this being making stuff and posting it online. I haven't been doing it for a super long time, but I've been doing it for a couple of years. And in almost all of these projects, either nobody or a handful of people listen. That's generally how it goes. I think that's how it goes for a lot of people who have just started out making something. Maybe it's just a couple of your friends. Maybe you can't even convince your friends to listen. Maybe you just found some stranger online. But you can be working at this stuff for a long time and nobody will engage with it. And you can kind of feel like, well, why am I doing this? And so I wanted to make this to motivate you, and honestly to motivate me in the future when I come down from the high that is having a couple of extra impressions on a podcast episode. Anytime anybody engages with my work, I get really, really motivated to work at it again, which leads to a crash ultimately. And I think it's what you do in this crash that can be really telling, and that can really make your work stand apart from those who crash and don't get back up. I think that's just part of the natural rhythm of things. Anyways, a couple of questions that I think are important to ask as you're making something that's not being engaged with. Does it stress you out? And how does it stress you out? Now, I think that stress can be a really nice motivator. When I wake up in the morning and there's nothing to do, I don't have to go to work that day, essentially I'm not stressed. I don't often know what to do with myself. Do I just get up and read? Do I put on pants? Do I eat breakfast? I don't really get hungry in the mornings. I don't really eat breakfast. Why do anything? Now, when I'm stressed to make something, when I feel this pulling to make something, then I make it. Now, sometimes that feeling can be a lot. Like there's all this pressure to make something. I've had this happen a lot to me with Stone and Pithos, which is one of my music projects. I'll make something like an album or an EP, but then I'm like, I won't make one for a while, and there'll be all this pressure building up, and then I have to step aside. I used to have all of my music up on Spotify, and I would pay some money every year to keep it up on Spotify, and eventually I'm like, I can't make enough to justify keeping it up on Spotify. I can't make enough new content. And so I took everything down because that was negative stress in my life. That was negative stress. No one was listening. It was costing me money, and I felt pressure to keep making stuff. And I wasn't enjoying it at that point. Which brings me to my other question. Is it fun? Is what you are making enjoyable? If nobody were to watch or to listen or to engage for the entirety of you making this thing, would you still make it? How long can you go without anybody engaging? Are you just making stuff hoping that somebody will eventually engage and that's when you're really going to kick in? Are you having fun in that moment at that time? I really enjoy making these podcasts. I really enjoy when people engage with these podcasts, but when nobody engages, I think I'd still be making them. Yeah, it seems like I'm shouting into the void, and I'm always worried that when somebody comes across an episode, they come across one where I'm just being an idiot, or playing some sort of character, or one where I'm really just shouting into the void, because that's part of this podcast. If you're not shouting into the void, are you even listening to this podcast? Are you even engaging? Are you experiencing me? Huh? I'm looking at you. Do you shout into the void? You better. Oh. I dropped a little bread tie that I was playing with. I think that's about all that I had to say, really. This is almost like a character arc for me, so I'm going to play some crazy music to play us out. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye. Wait, hold on. I almost forgot the motivation part. Most of that was just looking at your motivations. You can do this, and you are doing this. You're building the necessary skills to continue to get better. You're becoming an expert at something. Consistency, or even just having fun, will all serve you well. You're going to make it. You may not become famous, but I think that you are going to find work that is fulfilling. Okay, goodbye.